Colleen is a first-year teacher at St. Philomena School, and like most young teachers, was filled with enthusiasm on her first teaching job. So she decided her fourth grade class would do a play that would experience and express the joy of that empty tomb, of that resurrection morning. So she gathered the children together and began to ask them what parts they would like to play as they would celebrate this resurrection. Without any doubt, most of them wanted to be some of the soldiers guarding the tomb. A few wanted to be the angels who were there, and still others wanted to be some of the women who had gone to the tomb, the first to recognize and hear the words that he has risen. But then she came to Kevin, and she asked Kevin, what do you want to do in the play? Kevin, without a thought, said, I want to be the stone. Well, Colleen was surprised, to say the least. She said, but Kevin, there are no words for the stone. There is not much that the stone does. That's all right. I just want to be able to roll away at the right time. All right, Colleen said. So the play went off without a hitch. It was wonderful. And then she would affirm the children in what they had done, thanking them. And she came to Kevin and, of course, thanked him again for his role as the stone. And then asked him, Kevin, why was it that you were so convinced that you had to be the stone? What was it? Kevin smiled and said, I just wanted to be the one who would let Jesus out of the tomb. I just wanted to be the one that let Jesus out of the tomb. I thought that was a good thing, a good way, a good phrase to express what you and I do and gather every Easter, letting Christ out of the tomb. Now, that's not an easy thing, actually. We've all heard the proclamation of the gospel. We've sung about it in the hymns. Christ is risen this day. But the power of that resurrection will not benefit it much unless you and I are willing to really change something very deep about our faith and religion. We have to move it from our head to our heart. We have to move the stone away, move it away from in front of our hearts. We need, I think, to move our religion away from our head and down deep inside of us. Oh, I think there's certainly a need for you and I to have a faith in our doctrine, our decrees. That's within our heads. But if that's all it is, then the power of this day is diminished. We need to also root it deeply within our hearts. Then the power of this day can be experienced, not just thought. So when I say roll the stone away, I mean move it away and let Christ into your heart. Let your faith take some root in what you know is true. Because I think so often we have lodged our faith in our brains, but it has not allowed us to have compassion for one another, nor has it led us to have real love and understanding for those who suffer or those whose lives are greatly distressed, difficult, and bear great burdens. Faith can't be just a group of doctrines or belief. It has to be something rooted in our hearts that we know is true. There, Christ can come alive. I think if we do that, then we can recognize that Christ is among us. Christ is risen so that you and I can live in different ways. We can make our lives differently because we know our thoughts and our beliefs are united with Christ's. We can live differently, knowing that I don't just live for myself. I live in community with others, and I live in connection with my God. Christ didn't raise Lazarus from the dead just to have those who were there believe in him. He did it because he had compassion, heart moved with the sisters, Martha and Mary. Nor did Christ heal that centurion's daughter because he wanted the centurion to believe, but rather because he saw the suffering of a young girl. He did not heal the lepers who came asking to be cleansed so that they would have faith and gratitude. He healed them because they were alienated. They were not allowed to live in life with their families. Christ has already shown us what the power of moving the stone away can do. It can give us something different. It can help us clarify. It can help us lead a life more committed. And it can allow us then to have lives of greater confidence, all by rolling the stone away. We can do that, I think, first for clarity. You and I have so many things coming at us. You had to-do lists that were very long all week long, didn't you? You had so many things. Even now you're sitting here saying, when is he going to be done? I got to get home and eat. I have so many things to do. There's a lot of things that demand your attention, that call you away from the moment to the next thing. Some of you rush so fast, you're already leading on to the next thing before you completed the last. Putting God in your heart, rolling the stone away, can give some clarity on what's really important in your life. So much of our lives is taken up with the trivial and the unimportant, things that will in time prove of no consequence. So putting Christ in the middle can again help us regain that center and that focus. Then we will not again ignore the ones who love us around us, not too busy to see them, to experience them, to be with them. Nor will it allow us to just slough off the decisions we make as if they have no power to change our lives with those we love. Then we see the decisions as either affirming the love we have for each other or diminishing it. You see, moving the stone away can help us gain again a new clarity with our lives. But just as it will do that, so moving the stone away will deepen our commitment, will change the way we have that sense of faith. Oh, I know we all have faith or we wouldn't have gathered here today. We know it in our hearts. If I ask you, do you believe in the risen Lord? Of course I believe. But that's in our heart only if we have moved a stone away. It'll remain in our head for too many of us. So the commitment, if we move the stone away and move it to our hearts, allows us then to live a little differently. It allows us to realize that the good things I do are not simply decent things that I am about, but they are united with the good things of the Lord. What I do is an extension of Christ doing it with me. Then I am not wearied by life. I am not disappointed in what happens. I am not bent down by difficulties. I continue knowing that what I do, the good I seek, is in conjunction with what God is doing and what God continues to do. That's a difference in commitment. Rolling the stone away makes a huge difference there because it enables me to recognize I am not doing this alone, that my actions indeed are part of Christ's work. And then finally, moving that stone away gives me confidence. It gives me strength where I had not found it before. You and I indeed are worried about a lot of things. I worry about some of the decisions the children are making, some good and some more destructive. I worry about the life and the health and the safety of my parents as they age and face greater challenges. I find difficulty in my work and challenges in my school. I have unresolved issues with others that seem not to have any resolution. But if I move my faith from head to heart, then I can recognize Christ is there and wants to help me resolve these things. Christ is there willing to help me find wholeness. Christ will send others into my life to help me find wellness and healing. That's what that commitment means. That's what that confidence can bring. Because I move it from my head to my heart, I am confident my God is with me. So the message of this great Easter day, that Christ is risen, will truly empower us if we roll the stone away, if we allow our hearts to express what our heads have told us. We need to move it away if we're ever to experience the joy of this Easter. For resurrection will in fact, do us no good if it remains only in our head and Christ is still in the tomb. We have to do what Kevin says. Roll the stone away and let Christ come out. Easter, today, seems a great day to roll the stone away from our hearts.